Hi everyone, Angus Pryor from Dental Profit System bringing you another Marketing Monday, but this week with a difference. Recently, Dental Profit System was pleased to be involved with the first ever Dental Success Summit, an event that helped dentists from all over Australia build their business. After the event, I thought I'd take some of the speakers out to experience some Australian culture. I took them to a football match in Sydney on a cold Saturday night. As it turned out, the game was a bit of a blowout, but I took the opportunity to interview some of the speakers, and so what you're about to hear from is an interview with Dr. Mark Costas, with Dr. Aaron Nicholas, and Ashley Evans. I hope you enjoy. Let me ask you this question, Mark, and I want you to imagine that you're talking to a dental business. We've had a conference here in Sydney this week helping dentists be better business people, and let's imagine that you're dealing with a dental business which, in continuing our analogy, is on the lower side. In other words, they're not 46, they're in the nil, where the business is not going well. If there was one thing that they could do to start, because often that's the hardest part, is to start, to turn that around, what would be one thing they could do to start?
Well, sure. I think, one of the big things about dentists and dental businesses is we like to focus on things that we're comfortable with, and most dentists are comfortable working on the clinical side of their dental profession, of their business. I think if there's going to be one thing that they would want to do to immediately turn around their business is start focusing on their role as a CEO rather than just a clinician within their business, which means tracking all sorts of things as far as their metrics, their overhead, not just profitability and new patients, but the actual key performance indicators within their business. That's probably the first and most important thing that I would focus on if I was a struggling dental practice.
Dr. Aaron Nicholas, who's looking rather cold.
A little cold. It is
a little cold. We thought we've been here for a conference this week helping dentists just be better business people. And Aaron, if you had to sum your area of expertise, because I watched your presentation, which I thought was terrific, in a few words, what would you say is what's the thing that you bring to the table?
I would say that the thing that I bring to the table is probably more in looking at the way that dentists do things and cutting out the parts that are inefficient and unnecessary and trying to make them as productive as possible while they're working in their practices.
Okay. This football match that frankly has been a bit of a shambles. 46-0 is the final score.
That's a little lopsided.
It's very lopsided, and of course there can be some parallels between this and business, dare we say.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that I noticed in Aaron's presentation, he's the kind of guy that will get out a stopwatch and time bits of the dental procedures.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We literally time pretty much everything in the office so that we know what's going on and how long does it take, and see if there are ways that we can cut out some wasted time, some wasted effort, some waste with the doctor doing things he doesn't need to do, so that we're as streamlined and as efficient as possible.
Ashley, of course, you're actually a speaker in your own right, and you've spoken at a number of events. And one of the things you mentioned to me about before we came on camera is that you talk about the HR procedures and hiring and so on. Now, for the listeners, of course, this is not marketing, but nevertheless, we want to be helping you with your business. So, a couple of things that you picked up that you know is useful and helpful for dentists.
When it comes to your hiring for your dental practice, we always say that it's really important to hire for culture first. Make sure that person it's really important that you get along with that person and your team gets along with that person more than they having just the qualifications to fit the role.
Yeah.
Just because the list is fine on the resume doesn't mean that they're going to quite possibly fit. So we always say that you can train for any position, but you cannot train for culture fit. So try and get someone who will fit your office's culture.
It's interesting you say that, because a client of mine taken over a new practice recently, and we were chatting about one of the staff, and he was saying, there's some systems and I need to be there, and etc. And I actually found myself thinking, I wonder whether this is a cultural issue. And anyway, so
it's something you just want that person to fit in with your. You can always train skills. You cannot necessarily train for someone to fit in with the type of culture that you have.
Marvellous. Well, thanks for your time, Ashley. We had a fun evening tonight. Unfortunately, the score was very uneven, bit chilly, bit breezy, but there we are. It's a little bit of Australian culture. Yes, that's about right. Hoodies all round.
Yes.
Well, that's it for this week from Marketing Monday. We'll be back with an episode in a more usual venue next week. But goodbye from me and goodbye from Ashley.
Thank you.
See ya.